My grandma had a stroke in late September in the early 2000s. She died in early October after more brain bleeds. She was para-skiz, lived for her coffee, cigarettes, and crackers with butter. We were poor. No proper sugar dish or kettle, just a mug with a spoon in it for sugar and a small 1-quart pot for hot water. I used to do my homework, college, across the table from her. After she finally died, the spoon would clink across the sugar cup in the cupboard. The cupboard, the old kind with the press, the button to open handle, would open, and the stove, piezoelectric, clicky start, would click from time to time, like she was making her coffee. Only lasted until around Halloween, then it stopped. Not exactly horror, but it's true. When I made my coffee, I'd make a small cup for her, leave it at her chair, and talk to her too. Whenever I visit her headstoneless grave, I leave her a small Tim Hortons the way she liked her coffee. This happened almost 10 years ago now. I think I was around 10 or 11 years old. So my best friend and I used to go out together every Halloween to collect treats. Normal kid stuff. I'm from Berlin though, so because everyone around my area lives in apartment buildings, we just had to ring every doorbell and hope that someone would answer, and then we'd go up to the top floor to work our way down to the bottom. That night we just went from building to building, making our ways up and down over and over again, until we came to this one apartment building that was located a few streets down from my place, and when we got buzzed in, we once again made our way to the top. When we reached about the 5th or 4th floor, I can't remember exactly which one, we ran into another group, a woman and 2 younger girls. They were already talking to the lady who lived on that floor, so we just got in line behind them and waited for our turn. But while we waited, I took some time to look around, taking in the Halloween decorations that the lady had propped up in front of her door, until I suddenly locked eyes with something, or more specifically, someone. Right next to the open door, only a few centimeters away from me, stood a little boy. I almost jumped a little. I hadn't seen him at all when we first arrived, and no one had come upstairs in the meantime either. But I didn't think too much of it at first, telling myself it was probably just the lady's son and he'd maybe stepped out of the door with her. But I took a closer look nonetheless. He was standing there, still as a statue, staring right at me. If I didn't know any better, I thought he was a Halloween prop with how still he was. And the more I looked at him, the more he just looked wrong. Like something about him didn't quite add up. His dark brown hair was messy, his bangs were too long so they fell into his face, almost covering his eyes. And his eyes, something about them didn't sit right with me either. They were blank, like completely blank. Like he was looking at me, but at the same time he was looking right through me. He didn't look blind, that's not what I mean. He just looked completely emotionless. Another thing that stood out to me after a while of studying him were the scars. It looked burn marks covering his neck and what little I could see of his arms. It sent a shiver down my spine, but once again I just told myself, hey, it's Halloween, it's probably just makeup anyways. When the other group was done, we stepped forward and talked to the lady that lived there, letting her put candy in our bags. All the while, it almost looked like that boy's eyes followed my every movement. Only his eyes, though. He wasn't moving at all, not even his head. Once we were done, we left that building behind and nothing strange happened for the rest of the night. In fact, nothing happened for at least 2 weeks after that, and I quickly ended up forgetting all about that weird-looking boy. Until about 2 weeks later, now in my bedroom at the time, my stepdad had built me a sort of second floor right under the ceiling. It was this big wooden area on which I slept on my mattress and played with my friends. There was a long ladder that led up to the top, and right by the ladder was where my mattress was. On that day, I was once again just sitting up there, playing or messing around with some of my prized toys, until I heard footsteps walk into the room and up to the ladder. My stepdad was a big man, so he would never have such soft footsteps. Me and my sisters used to joke that he walks like an elephant sometimes with how loud he stomps around. So, my thoughts went straight to one of my little sisters. I just wanted to have some alone time and really wasn't looking forward to my sister's endless energy right now. So, sounding a little annoyed, I called out without looking up from my toys. "Leave me alone. Go play with Mom." No answer. Usually my sisters would either just giggle at me or groan in frustration, but neither of those reactions came. And then, it slowly dawned on me. I was alone at home. My mother had taken my sisters to the playground earlier and my stepdad was at work. I froze, a shiver running down my spine. Had I just imagined the footsteps? But just as I'd thought it, a slow creak came from the ladder, like someone had stepped on it. Slowly, very slowly, I bent forward to peek over the edge at the bottom of the ladder. And I screamed when I suddenly locked eyes with someone. A little boy. The same little boy from 2 weeks earlier at Halloween. I jumped back in shock, breathing heavily as I thought about how the hell he could be inside my house. But when I peered down once more, he was gone. No retreating footsteps, nothing. He was just gone. I searched the entire apartment, but nothing. He wasn't in here. Ever since then, I can still see him from time to time. He never moves, just stands somewhere and stares, mostly in corners. He also likes to peek at me from other rooms, scares the shit out of me every time. I've since moved once, but he still pops up every once in a while. I never actually felt threatened by him or anything. He's just kind of there. A presence that never fully leaves me. I don't know anything about him or where he came from. I'd always been a little sensitive to that kind of stuff, so maybe he just found out I could see him and decided to stick around. At this point, I get along with it pretty well. Every time I see him, I just think to myself, "Ah, there he is again," and that's that. When I was about 13, my mom and dad invited round our previous neighbors from the block of flats we lived in until I was 5 years old. Anyway, I'd been sent to bed but could still hear everyone talking about this and that, until the woman neighbor said, "Hey, Diggsy's mom, do you remember when Diggsy used to complain that there was someone in his room? Well, there's a family that's just moved into the floor above who have a 3-year-old son. He is complaining of the exact same things Diggsy did." This creeped me out. I had no recollection of any of this, so the next day asked my mom. Her first reaction was, "You don't remember?" Then she told me all about the weird stuff that used to happen. Footsteps up and down the hall, shit going missing and stuff. She said the final thing to happen was when she was listening to a record one day, and it started to slow down, like someone was holding a finger gently on the platter, till it finally came to a stop. My mom said she snapped at this point and started shouting, "Will you leave us alone?" As soon as she said this, the record went straight back to playing normally, and we never experienced anything again. I've never experienced anything like that since, and these days I'm quite skeptical of such stories, but I believe my mom. Strangest thing is how I found out about it from someone else 10 years later experiencing something similar. I hope you enjoyed this selection of true stories for Halloween. If you like our content, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween.